Digital, and welcome to another Facebook Live, an evening Facebook Live, a little bit later in the day. We are busy here trying to wrap things up for Christmas and getting things sorted for 2018 as well. So I thought I'd drop in here with our latest blog post where we're talking about the latest updates to Facebook advertising. But first of all, if this is your first time with us on Facebook Live, welcome. Great to have your company. Appreciate you giving us your time. And if you haven't come across our Facebook Live videos before, then at Organic Digital, we help both train, manage and educate small and medium businesses with their Facebook advertising. And we've been doing it for over a couple of years now, but there's been some huge changes in those couple of years. In fact, next week, or it could be next year by then, we're going to be doing a wrap-up article on some of the big changes in 2017 and then some predictions for 2018 and potentially what Facebook advertising has in store for the new year as well. But it's certainly changing quickly, and we like to do these articles just to keep people up to date and educated and informed on things that could potentially impact them as a business and as advertisers as well. But some of the big changes for the last month, we've recorded in a blog post, which we'll go and post a link in the comments to this Facebook Live in a second, but all of the links to the articles that we'll cover in today's Facebook Live you'll be able to find at that blog post there as well. If you've got any questions, by all means feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll jump in there after the fact. As we mentioned last week, these Facebook Lives have been repurposed into audio content on Anchor FM. So we're actually going to switch to kind of less conversational mode because we want to keep that audio nice and clean. But we will jump into those comments after, back into the Facebook Live and jump into those comments after the fact if there are any comments. So let's get into the into the actual article itself, so I can show you more. But this is the article here. As I said, I'll make sure we actually stick this link into the Facebook Live in 1 second. I'm going to jump in there now. This is multitasking at its best. And before I forget as well, I hope everyone has an amazing Christmas and New Year. Certainly getting towards the pointy end of the year. And I hope you all get a bit of a break as well. So, there we go. The link is now in the comments there, and you can jump in there and see all of those. I think should be, maybe. Anyway, we'll make sure it's there in a second. Okay, so let's get into these updates. There's only 4 of them, but they are some interesting updates and probably indicate some of the changes that are happening, that have happened in the past year, but also gives you a bit of an idea on the direction that Facebook advertising are looking to go in 2018 as well. So one of the most recent articles in the Facebook newsroom was just basically an article that it was kind of a strange kind of media release, I guess, that they put on up in their blog post that basically just reinforced the principles around Facebook advertising. And it was pretty short, but it was just a brief story to remind advertisers around why they do what they do and the standards that they're trying to keep in advertising. Now, whether this was like a response to a couple of things around transparency and safety in advertising, but also there's been a lot of an increase in what I've seen in a lot of the discussion boards and community groups about people getting banned or ads disapproved for a number of different reasons. So whether it's just I guess, a response to that in how they're trying to maintain those standards. But I guess the most important thing to remember as advertisers is that Facebook are always going to put their user base first. So you need to make sure that regardless of what you're offering, and whether you're trying to give Facebook money, if it's not a valuable advertisement to that audience, they just simply won't show it. So they're always going to have that people first approach, and that's going to be the ongoing approach that they're going to have, and it's something that we're going to talk about next week when we look back on the past year and look ahead to 2018, what's ahead. One other thing they also put in there is, which I thought was really good by them, is that Facebook has the ability to level that playing field between small to medium businesses, because now both have access to the same tools that before no one really had access to. One, the budgets, but also if you wanted to get in front of the same amount of people that Facebook has the ability to, where you used to have to go through print or TV mediums. You had to know someone, you had to go through the booking agent, you had to have that relationship to be able to get in the right slots at the right time, and also for the right price and budget, and it just wasn't accessible to small businesses. Whereas now Facebook has taken out that middleman, and basically they let you get in front of who you want to get in front of, and they're exactly the same user base that some of the biggest companies in the world are attempting to as well. So I've put a link to that article there as well. You can also view it here. It's called Our Advertising Principles. Pretty basic and pretty short, but they summarise exactly what they're about and why they're trying to do what they do. The next one was some Facebook Messenger enhancements, which we've been actually playing around with ourselves, but in the last month it's come along a fair way. First of all, it started with Facebook running a contest on Small Business Saturday where they were rewarding the business that came up with the most creative chatbot using ManyChat, which is what I'll chat about in a sec, which is basically a chatbot that a lot of different chatbots out there are using, and it's accessible to everyone as well. And then they also released firstly it was an initial beta release of a website live chat plugin, which has now been released to the general public. So basically, you can use Facebook Messenger is a live chat on your website, both on desktop and mobile, where if you initially had like a different live chat program like an Intercom, or there's a few others out there that basically you'll be notified when someone's got a question or something like that on your website in a live chat, and it's accessible to anyone. Well, basically now it's using their Facebook profile, where they can log in and chat directly to you, and I'll show you how it actually works. So we've put there, if you actually hit that little messenger icon in the bottom right hand corner, then this is our chatbot here, and if it was logged in, if you're logged into Facebook, it'll come up with your profile here. Otherwise you can log in and jump in there as well, but you can actually start chatting with us now. We've set up some automatic prompts in there. We're still ironing out a few bugs and getting used to the flow and what we can and can't do, but we've used ManyChat for this, and we're going to be doing an article on this in a new year, as well as what we've learned after we've tested it a little bit, put in some real life case studies and using it for some different purposes like lead generations and sales, etc. But this is now basically available to anyone. It's free. You do need some development done on your website to install it, so we got our web developer to install this for us, but if you're paying that monthly subscription fee to a live chat program, you can now effectively replace that with Facebook Messenger, which the main thing that I see the benefit of this is that as a user, if I were to have that discussion with someone on a live chat on a website, I'd have to continue, and say I logged off or that person wasn't available to chat, then I would get all subsequent notifications via my email, and it would come in via my email. Now it's basically coming directly to my Facebook Messenger inbox. So just as my personal profile, I can reply back to that person and just back to that business, and can continue that conversation through there. So some huge opportunities here I see, and this is certainly a direction that Facebook are going with Facebook Messenger. So yeah, jump on our website and play around with that as well, and give us any feedback on the good, bad, and otherwise. Like I said, we're still ironing out some things and getting used to it, but it's a bit of fun. The next update was some new engagement custom audience options, which hasn't been rolled out to everyone. We've seen some accounts have them, some others haven't. There's only a handful that we've seen at the moment, but basically these are some more options that allow you to track users and giving you the ability to remarket to them and retarget to them based on the behaviours that they perform. So first of all, if some other examples of engagement audiences might be people that watch your videos, might be that comment or engage rather with your posts and advertisements. There's a few different engagement audiences in that custom audience section, and these are just some other options that Facebook have introduced because they saw some themes, and also the one I'll go through the couple firstly that they've introduced. The first one is called a dwell time. So basically, dwell time is really interesting because if you think of the behaviours that you perform on Instagram or on Facebook on a mobile, and you're scrolling, you might stop, and maybe it's a funny image, maybe it's a video that's got subtitles or something like that, but you only watch a little bit of it, or maybe you don't watch it at all, you just want to see what it is. Well, basically dwell time is tracking when you don't actually interact with the ad at all, but you stop and you just consume that information. Or another good example is say you've got say someone has a really long piece of copy in the intro to that Facebook post, and you've got to hit the see more, and then you've got to read it all. Maybe you don't go and actually interact with that post at the end of it, but that dwell time means that you're actually consuming that post still. So that's another custom audience option that you've got there as well. The other one is link sharing. So if you have a interesting piece of content or a viral piece of content, both as a post and also or a good blog post or article on your website, and people go and share that, but maybe you've got a viral piece of content that hasn't actually got that many conversions, then what you can actually do is you can retarget people that have shared that post as well. So if you come up with a really funny post and you say, well, how does that result in a return? Well, now you can actually track those people that have shared it and then retarget them with another ad there as well. So a couple of options there for retargeting as well. And the last one that we're going to get into is I'm actually going to play this video for you, which is the Facebook Creators Introduction.
Just your thing, but when you put it out there, you realize your thing is her thing too, and his thing, and their thing. It could be a whole lot of people's thing.
This is the Unemployed Show's 22nd episode.
People who can roll with you as friends and be there for you like family. People who push your thing further than you ever thought your thing could go.
I'm so happy to have all of you here with me.
And that is everything.
So there you go. The introduction to Facebook for Creators. So this is a really interesting update in that basically Facebook looks like it's bit of an attempt to lure some of those YouTube influencers and YouTube stars over to Facebook to take advantage of the viewers and the user base that Facebook has. So they're going into this creator kind of direction where they've created a mobile app that gives you tips on how to create videos and easily create them as well. And also there's a new microsite just dedicated to creators that have got resources and support that basically give those people the ability to get in front of more people and access some of their newly introduced features. You may have seen them come through your newsfeed where some of the bigger pages or bigger personalities have taken advantage of what they call Facebook Watch, where they have like ongoing like regular shows. So it's basically like you would subscribe to a YouTube channel. Now they have watch pages where they come up with whatever that segment is or title of the series is, and people that follow that watch page will get notified every time there's a new episode. So they're basically a sub page within an overarching page, if that makes sense. So this is clearly a bit of a step towards making a bit of a dent on YouTube's influencer kind of stranglehold that they've had for so long. Even when you go through and you check some of these links through to like the creators community and stuff like that, they talk about stuff like how to live stream gaming and all of these different kind of things that are really popular on YouTube and live streaming, and that these YouTube influencers have. They're clearly trying to make a bit of a play at that. So one to certainly watch. Some of these have only been, you can actually download the Creator app now, but the Facebook Watch and some of those more advanced features have only been tested to a small group at the moment. You can go and request access and be notified once it is available. But if you've got a regular show or regular series, and then just gives you another avenue to get in front of more people and deliver valuable content. And going on what Facebook have been talking about with the trend of more and more video, this is just going to be something that Facebook are going to push more and more. So keep an eye out for those regular watch shows appearing through your newsfeed, and maybe subscribe to a couple to see how they work and how those people publish those regular shows, how they get in front of you, how the notifications come through. Get some tips on how you can use them for your own videos going down the track as well. So, like I said, all of these links are in this article here. I didn't actually go through each of them, but there's a bit more information from John Loomer about the chatbot, a chat plugin, the dwell time, and link sharing custom audience, and the release about the new tools for the creator community. But that is basically today's Facebook Live done and dusted. Like I said earlier, I hope you have a fantastic Christmas and New Year. This will be the last Facebook Live that we'll do before the big day next week. We will be back before the end of the year, though, in between that Christmas, New Year break, to do another quick Facebook Live just to let you know about our latest blog post, because we're going to do a bit of a recap on 2017, where Facebook advertising have come, where our blogs come, some of our most popular posts, and make a few daring predictions for 2018 to see whether they come to fruition or not. But really appreciate your time and for all your support for the last year as well. Looking forward to a big 2018. Until next time, it's bye for now. Okay.